That's the captain speaking. Due to the current circumstances, obviously, that are unprecedented for us here at Emirates, we are aware that a number of passengers do not wish to travel with us, and that's perfectly fine. All we ask is that if you wish to offload yourself, you do so.
Hello, my name is Miss April May, and I hope you're having a blessed day. If this is your first time on my channel, thank you for stopping by. And if you've been here before, thank you for coming back. Either way, make sure you do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. So, today we are going to be talking about the H-1B visa. If you missed it on Friday, President Trump signed a proclamation stating that now these visa applications and the renewals will have a $100,000 fee versus the old fee, which from what I saw was from a few hundred to possibly a few thousand. So, a big change. And of course, you know, the internet, TikTok, Reddit, wherever you like to go, that's all they could talk about. So today we're going to watch a few videos to see what people have to say, get their opinions, and I'll chime in. So let's get to the videos.
What would you do if your employer said you had 24 hours or less to get to another country or lose your job? Well, on Friday, President Trump signed an executive order that basically said for all of these tech and other companies that employ H-1B workers, have people that are working in the company on H-1B visa, which is very common in the tech space, they're going to have to pay $100,000 to maintain those employees one time, and then every time they renew their application. So multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars to the U.S. government. So apparently, this just went into effect on Friday. So apparently, hours after that announcement, and today, companies like Amazon, companies like Microsoft are literally telling their employees, if you're in the US, stay in the US, don't go anywhere. If you're anywhere outside of the country, get back here within 24 hours. You may or may not have a job. Just a crazy situation. I can't imagine how these people feel, especially if they have families, kind of pressure that puts them under.
Yeah, so like that gentleman said, companies are telling their workers, make sure you stay inside of the US. That day on Friday, many people were trying to rush back to the US because they were in fear of potentially losing their jobs because these companies or their employers will have to pay a truckload of money in order to renew their visa so that they can continue to work. So number one, the first problem I see is that visa holder or not, these are people, right? They're trying to work, they're trying to make a living. And basically, you're upending their lives and changing all of their plans and all of the things that they need to do for this new proclamation that the president has signed. So, number one, that is a major issue because, like he said, imagine you have 24 hours to get back into the country. Imagine you went home to visit your family, or imagine there was an emergency. So now you're outside of the US and you're in your home country. That's a lot to just be able to catch a flight at the drop of a hat and have to make your way back to the US just because of work, right? So let's watch another video.
The H-1B visa is one of the most desirable visas in the US for people coming from other countries with special skills. That includes doctors. So the hospitals that hire the most doctors on H-1B visas are actually the hospitals that are the smallest, the most rural, the ones that have the least resources, oftentimes the hospitals that are safety net hospitals to their communities. So now, of course, this $100,000 visa fee is going to prevent people from other countries who are in training to come here and practice medicine. And that's really going to create a wider disparity in those populations and in those remote communities. So it's going to impact those foreign doctors, but it's also going to impact those safety net hospitals that rely on those doctors. And it's going to really hit those residency programs that fill up all of their spots with foreign medical graduates. But of course, I know that if you aren't in the medical space, you probably don't care about those individual stakeholders. But the one that you might care about is that this change will actually impact the patients and the communities that those safety net hospitals care for. We're all going to see wider gaps in care, longer wait times for specialists, overworked primary care physicians. I mean, the whole thing is going to go under. I don't think people really understand how much weight foreign medical graduates shoulder, but they're about to.
So he also makes some very good points, right? Many of the doctors or medical professionals who are on these visas here in the US, They're working in rural hospitals in places where there already is a lack of resources, a lack of money, a lack of medical professionals, and you're potentially taking that away from people. And for me, the craziest part is a lot of the Americans who scream, oh, these immigrants are taking our jobs, live in some of these same communities that are being serviced by many of these doctors who are on these H-1B visas, right? These very, very small towns, in the country and rural areas where you just don't have a lot of doctors in the communities, right? Many of these places don't have the access and the resources that will bring doctors there. Because if I'm a doctor and I have the choice of working in New York City or LA or in the middle of Iowa, which one do you think I'm gonna choose, right? So we have to be cognizant of, yeah, we have an issue in the US where we don't have enough people for certain jobs, right? And then we also have people who want better jobs. But the solution isn't just to say, oh yeah, we're going to make it more difficult for foreign workers to come into the country. We have to take into consideration the training, right? So for the people who are screaming, yeah, these immigrants are taking our jobs, it's like, these are not jobs where you can go in and someone can just teach you the entire job in a week. These are highly skilled people in highly skilled fields that take years of work to get the degrees and then years of work to get the experience to perfect their craft. This is going to turn into a major problem, not just for these workers, not just for these doctors or other medical health professionals, not just for tech workers. It will become an issue for the general population. So let's watch another one.
Crazy turn of events. My boyfriend had to get up out of our Italian pasta making class in Rome and leave. I kid you not, leave. Not the class, leave Rome because of the whole H-1B $100,000 situation that's going to affect Saturday at midnight, and it's literally Saturday midday in Rome right now, so he had to be on the next flight back to make it in time. And so now I'm here solo, but he booked the next flight to anywhere in the US he could find, which is crazy. He'll be fine. Italian vacations can happen again, like, not stressed, but it does make me wonder about, number one, people that can't just drop of a hat, buy a ticket back, or are number two, too far away in a different country to make it back in time, who have just like had their entire world flipped upside down overnight because it came into effect and happened so quickly. Crazy times we live in. Anyways, I'm gonna go shopping. I think I deserve it.
Imagine you're on vacation and you suddenly had to leave because of this I keep wanting to say HB1, but it's wait, is it H1B or HB1? But imagine, either way, imagine you just suddenly had to leave your vacation. People are already overworked. Most of us barely get 2 weeks of vacation off from our jobs. And then imagine you have to leave because of this visa issue. I would be so pissed. If nothing else, I'm pissed for her and for him.
The healthcare system is cooked, so the proclamation that was just signed, now requiring companies to pay $100,000 for people on HB1 visas, basically to prioritize Americans to get the jobs. So now everybody's thinking about tech. They're just going to outsource it and da-da. Nobody is thinking about healthcare. Do you guys not understand how many people in healthcare currently are under an HB1 visa? And if these companies do away with them, we don't have enough people to fill those vacancies at this time. So what are we going to do? Nobody's going to be able to see a provider. Nobody's going to be able to seek treatment because we're already flooded. We already don't have enough for what we have. So if the people with the HB1 visas can no longer work, it's going to get spooky.
He's unfortunately so right. And then the other thing that I think about is, well, at least for the tech space, right? When you talk about healthcare, those people need to be in person, right? I need to be able to go to the doctor and see this doctor like face to face. But when you talk about tech, right? Tech is already on the computer. So I promise you, a lot of these companies will just find loopholes. They'll do things remotely, maybe set up, an office offshore in another country where they have a lot of those workers in that particular country, right? Companies already do that. There are plenty of companies. I worked for a company that had offshore, workers in India. It's already common. So don't be surprised if many of these companies also just say, you know what, we're going to set up offices over here, over there, in that country. And I work in tech currently, and already before this visa thing, right? Something I've noticed the last couple of weeks is people on Reddit, because I love Reddit, people on Reddit, particularly like the computer science subreddits or like software engineering subreddits, talking about layoffs, talking about, oh, where are you going to get jobs? Um, the difficulty in interviewing, companies not really hiring people or taking offers away, or just not hiring them full time, making them contractors so that they don't have to pay for their health insurance and 401ks and like all those other benefits and things like that. So this could also become an issue where you just have companies sending off those jobs elsewhere anyway, because they don't want to pay for these visa fees. Now, if I look at some of these comments, people are definitely making fantastic points. And there are some of the points that I also made, right? So this person says, it's not a lack of skilled labor, but rather the government does not work to develop the required skill set to benefit its citizens. Exactly. We need to create programs and opportunities for students or just people to learn these skills, to learn the skills that are needed for the 21st century, right? We don't need coal mines and that type of like manufacturing and things like that, right? Those jobs that people think are coming back that are like from the 60s. Those are not the jobs we need. Those are not the skills that we need. That time is gone. Someone else says, I work for one of the wealthiest corporations, and we have several H-1B visa holders at this company, and I highly doubt they will be paying 100K. They will definitely just quit hiring them and then probably rehire them offshore. I could bet you $5 because companies have been doing that for decades. Cuts the Department of Education and is asking for highly educated workers specializing in STEM. Make it make sense. And it's true, right? You cut education, but then want highly educated, highly qualified individuals to fulfill certain jobs. Does that make sense? But yeah, there's more comments. So definitely take a look at the description box or the comment below. And I've pinned all of the original creators of these videos, and you can go check out some of those comments for yourself. In the meantime, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching the video. Please make sure you like and subscribe. I'm Miss April May, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
You're officially coming with me. You got that. You're the cook.